Imagine standing at the threshold of your dreams, gazing into the horizon where the future stretches out vast and unfathomable. Then, in this moment, you're faced with a choice to venture into the unknown that promises no safety nets but the potential for unparalleled growth and achievement. This is the essence of embracing the belief that you can do what others can't. Let me share with you a story that exemplifies this belief, the narrative not just of triumph but of transformation. This tale is about a person much like anyone here with dreams that seem too big, too unattainable. This individual dared to envision a future where they achieved what others deemed impossible. Our protagonist, let's call him Alex, was once confined to a life of predictability. From a young age, Alex was told what was realistic and achievable. Stay within the lines, they said, choose a practical path. But deep down, Alex harbored a vision so bold, so beyond the ordinary, that it became a flicker of light in the darkness of conformity. Alex's dream was not merely to succeed in their chosen field but to revolutionize it, to not just play the game but to change it entirely. This was a path fraught with skepticism, years of discouragement from mentors, and the ever-looming shadow of failure. Yet, Alex persisted, fueled by a belief in their vision and a resolve that was unbreakable. The journey was anything but smooth. There were moments of doubt, instances where the end seemed nowhere in sight, where every step forward was met with 2 steps back. It was during these times that Alex's belief was put to the test. Why continue? Some asked. It's never been done before, they pointed out. But it was precisely because it had never been done before that Alex chose to persevere, drawing inspiration from those who had dared to dream big before them. Alex leaned into their unique strengths, their unwavering passion, and an unyielding work ethic. They sought knowledge relentlessly, understanding that the foundation of unprecedented success was built on continuous learning and adaptation. Then, after years of dedication, after countless sacrifices and unwavering belief in their vision, Alex achieved what once seemed an impossible feat. They not only succeeded in their field but also set a new benchmark for excellence, for innovation, for what was possible. They did what others couldn't because they dared to believe they could. This story, this journey of Alex, serves as a powerful reminder to all of us. It echoes the truth that within each of us lies the potential to achieve the extraordinary, to transcend the limits set by others, to forge our path where none existed. It is a testament to the power of belief, the resilience of the human spirit, and the unassailable truth that you can do what others can't. Today, as you stand on the brink of your own journey, remember Alex's story. Embrace your unique vision, nurture your belief in the impossible, and step into the vastness of your potential. For in doing so, you too will discover that you can achieve what others deem impossible. You can do what others can't. As we stride forward from the foundation laid by those who dared to venture beyond the ordinary, we come to a pivotal cornerstone of any journey toward achieving what others deem impossible, the power of belief in yourself. This belief, this unwavering confidence in your own capabilities, is not just a tool. It's the very engine that propels you towards realms of success that others might only dream of. Consider the story of a person. We'll call them Jordan, who stood at the crossroads of life, much like you and me. Jordan was faced with an opportunity that seemed so far out of reach it might as well have been on the moon. Everyone around Jordan said it couldn't be done, that it was a fool's errand. Yet within Jordan burned a belief so strong that no amount of doubt could extinguish it. Jordan believed with every fiber of their being that they could and would achieve their seemingly impossible goal. This belief wasn't born overnight. It was cultivated through years of small victories and colossal failures, each teaching Jordan a valuable lesson about the power of self-belief. When Jordan was knocked down, they didn't see a defeat. They saw an opportunity to rise stronger. When doors were slammed shut, Jordan found windows to open. It was this relentless belief in themselves that eventually led Jordan to achieve what no one thought possible, turning skeptics into believers. But how does one build such belief in themselves? It begins with understanding that belief is a choice. You choose to believe in your ability to succeed even when evidence to the contrary stares you in the face. It's about focusing on your strengths, not your weaknesses. It's about embracing challenges as steps on the ladder to your success, not as insurmountable walls blocking your path. One actionable device for building self-belief is to practice positive self-talk. Every morning, look yourself in the mirror and affirm your capabilities. I am capable. I am resilient. I can do what others can't. These aren't just words. They're seeds of belief that you plant in the garden of your mind, which, with consistent care, will grow into unshakable confidence. Another strategy is to set and achieve small goals. Success breeds success. By setting small, achievable goals and accomplishing them, you build a track record of success that bolsters your belief in your ability to tackle bigger challenges. Visualization is a powerful tool for building self-belief. Spend time each day visualizing yourself achieving your goals. See it in vivid detail, the triumph, the celebration, the sense of accomplishment. This mental rehearsal primes your brain to navigate the path to success, making the achievement of your goals feel not just possible but inevitable. Surround yourself with believers. Find mentors, friends, and colleagues who believe in you and your vision. Their faith in you will bolster your own belief in yourself, especially during times when your confidence wavers. Remember that the belief in yourself is the single most powerful weapon in your arsenal. As you embark on the journey to do what others can't, it's the belief that turns the impossible into the possible, that transforms dreams into reality. So hold on to that belief, nurture it, and let it guide you to heights you once thought unreachable. For in the end, it is not just about achieving what others can't, it's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. The foundation of believing in ourselves naturally progresses to the next step in our quest for greatness, setting goals beyond the ordinary. It is here, in daring to dream bigger and bolder than ever before, that the true magic of achievement begins to unfold. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, your eyes set not on the horizon but on the unseen lands beyond it. This is the essence of setting high, unconventional goals. It's not just about aiming for what is known and within reach, but rather reaching for what lies beyond our current grasp, for what seems impossible. It's about turning the improbable into the achievable. The significance of setting such audacious goals cannot be overstated. High goals act as beacons, guiding us through the fog of the mundane and the ordinary. They challenge us, push us, and ultimately transform us. They force us out of our comfort zones and into the realm of extraordinary achievement. But how does one set these extraordinary goals? It begins with a shift in mindset. You must first believe that no dream is too big, no goal too daring. From there, it's about envisioning what truly excites you, what ignites a fire within your soul. It's about asking yourself, what would I dare to achieve if I knew I could not fail? This question alone has the power to propel you into realms of possibility that were previously unimagined. Now let us draw inspiration from the stories of those who dared to dream big and saw their dreams come to fruition. Consider the tale of a young inventor who, in the face of skepticism, dreamed of making the power of computing accessible to everyone. At a time when computers were the preserve of corporations and universities, this dream seemed audacious, to say the least. Yet through unwavering belief in his vision and relentless pursuit of his goals, he transformed the landscape of technology and communication. His name is known worldwide, not just as a pioneer but as a visionary who changed how we live, work, and connect. Another story is of a runner once deemed too frail to compete at the highest levels. Instead of accepting this as her fate, she set her sights on the most grueling of athletic challenges, the marathon. Her goal was not just to compete but to triumph. Through years of rigorous training, battling injury, and overcoming doubt, she not only finished the race but shattered records, inspiring countless others to believe in the impossible. So how do you embark on this journey of setting and achieving extraordinary goals? Start by writing down your dreams, no matter how far-fetched they may seem. Visualize achieving these dreams, feel the success, the triumph, and the fulfillment. Break down your ultimate goal into smaller, actionable steps and tackle each one with determination and resilience. And remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to turning your extraordinary dreams into reality. Navigating the path toward achieving what others deem impossible, we find ourselves at a crucial juncture, the role of persistence and resilience. This stretch of our journey might well be considered the backbone of any quest for extraordinary success. It's here, in the gritty determination to press on despite setbacks, that dreams are either made or lost. Persistence is not just a desirable trait, it's absolutely crucial. It's the relentless engine that powers us through the inevitable storms and challenges that life throws in our path. Without persistence, even the most brilliant of plans and the most inspiring of goals will wither on the vine, unfulfilled and forgotten. But let's delve deeper into this concept with a story that brings it to life. Imagine a scientist working in obscurity, fueled by a vision that others dismissed as fantasy. Day after day, year after year, faced with failure, skepticism, and rejection, they persisted. Their work, once on the fringes of credibility, eventually led to a breakthrough that transformed the world. This is not just a tale of success. It's a testament to the power of persistence. It's the story of countless innovators, from the Wright brothers to Marie Curie, whose unwavering commitment to their vision changed the course of history. So how do we cultivate this indomitable spirit of persistence and resilience? It starts with a mindset, a belief in the value of our dreams and the worth of our efforts. It's about embracing failure not as a sign to give up but as a stepping stone, an indispensable part of the journey to success. Every setback, every obstacle offers lessons that sharpen our focus and strengthen our resolve. Here's actionable advice for developing resilience. Start by setting clear, meaningful goals. Break them down into actionable steps and celebrate every small victory along the way. Let each success fuel your drive to persist. When faced with setbacks, take a moment to regroup, to learn from the experience, and then adjust your strategy and move forward. Remember, resilience is not about never falling. It's about how quickly and how often you're willing to get back up. Surround yourself with stories of those who overcome adversity. Let their journeys inspire you and remind you that the path to success is rarely a straight line. More importantly, build a support network of mentors, colleagues, and friends who believe in your vision and encourage your persistence. Consider the case of a runner who, after numerous failed attempts at qualifying for the Olympics, could have succumbed to despair. Instead, they doubled down on their training, refined their techniques, and sought the advice of those who had walked the path before them. Their persistence paid off, not just in finally achieving their Olympic dream, but in setting a new world record. Let's reflect on this truth. The journey toward achieving what others can't is paved with persistence and resilience. These are the qualities that will carry you over the rough patches and propel you to heights you once thought unreachable. So embrace the challenges, learn from every setback, and never lose sight of your goals. Remember, it's your persistence in the face of adversity, your resilience when confronted with failure, that will define your journey and ultimately your success. Our quest to achieve what others deem impossible brings us to the understanding and leveraging of our unique strengths and abilities. Each of us is endowed with a set of talents and capabilities distinct to ourselves, our own superpowers, if you will. Recognizing and harnessing these innate gifts is akin to finding the key that unlocks the door to our potential, propelling us toward accomplishments that may seem out of reach to others. The journey to leveraging these unique strengths begins with a deep dive into self-awareness. It's about taking a step back to reflect on those moments when you felt most alive, most energized. What were you doing? Which tasks do you find both effortless and enjoyable? These questions guide you toward uncovering your natural talents. It's also about seeking feedback from those around you, as often others can see the brilliance in us that we might overlook. Now let me share the story of someone who harnessed their unique strength to achieve the extraordinary. Imagine a musician, not just any musician, but one born with a rare ability to hear and recreate complex compositions after a single listening. This musician could have followed a conventional path, but instead, they chose to leverage this unique ability to create a new genre of music, blending classical techniques with modern sounds. Their journey wasn't easy, filled with naysayers and traditionalists who couldn't see the vision. Yet, by staying true to their unique strength, they not only achieved international fame but also transformed the landscape of music. Another example is a young entrepreneur with a remarkable knack for understanding the digital world. In an age where technology was rapidly evolving, they saw opportunities where others saw challenges. While their peers were focused on traditional business models, this entrepreneur leveraged their deep understanding of digital platforms to create a revolutionary online marketplace. It was their unique strength, a profound comprehension of the digital age, that enabled them to see the potential for such a platform, ultimately changing the way we buy and sell goods today. So how can you start leveraging your unique strengths and abilities? Begin by committing to a path of continual learning and growth. Dive into areas that align with your natural talents, seeking knowledge and skills that will amplify your abilities. Embrace challenges as opportunities to test and refine your strengths, pushing the boundaries of what you're capable of. Cultivate an environment that supports your unique talents, surrounding yourself with mentors, collaborators, and networks that encourage your growth and provide platforms for your strengths to shine. Remember, leveraging your unique strengths is not a solo journey but a collaborative endeavor that thrives on mutual support and shared vision, woven with threads of triumphs and setbacks. It is often the patches of failure that add the most vibrant colors to our story. Understanding this, let's explore how failures and setbacks are not just mere obstacles in our path but are in fact the very stepping stones to success. Imagine embarking on a journey, your heart set on a distant shimmering goal. Along the way, you encounter valleys of defeat and mountains of challenge. It's in these moments, in the heart of setbacks, that the seeds of greatness are sown. For it is not our successes that shape us most profoundly, but our failures. They are our greatest teachers, offering lessons of resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. For example, consider the story of an inventor whose early work was met with ridicule and rejection. Each failure, rather than dampening his spirit, only added fuel to his fire. With each setback, he learned, adapted, and pressed on, his resolve steeling with every fall. His name is now synonymous with innovation and success, a testament to the transformative power of embracing failure as a guide. How, then, do we learn from these experiences? The first step is to reframe our perspective on failure. Instead of viewing it as a symbol of defeat, we see it as a catalyst for growth, a puzzle to be solved. This shift in mindset opens us to the invaluable insights hidden within each setback. Moreover, it's crucial to develop a practice of reflective learning. After each setback, take a moment to step back and analyze. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and what can be done differently next time. This process of reflection turns each failure into a lesson, a step closer to your ultimate goal. History is replete with individuals who have harnessed their failures as lessons to achieve greatness. Consider the entrepreneur whose first venture crumbled but who went on to build an empire by applying the hard-earned lessons from that initial failure. Or the artist whose early work was dismissed, only to use the criticism to refine their craft, eventually gaining worldwide acclaim. These stories underscore a universal truth. Our greatest breakthroughs often follow our most challenging setbacks. In embracing failures and setbacks as opportunities for learning, we unlock a powerful tool for personal and professional development. It demands courage, yes, and an unwavering belief in our ability to grow from adversity. But the rewards are boundless, leading us to achievements that once seemed beyond our reach. At the threshold of achieving what seems to be impossible, it is imperative to arm ourselves with practical strategies and habits that transform lofty dreams into tangible realities. Let's delve into actionable strategies that serve as your compass and roadmap on this journey of transcending the ordinary. First and foremost, the cornerstone of turning the impossible into the possible is crafting a detailed action plan. This is not merely about listing goals. It's about breaking down each goal into actionable steps, complete with deadlines and specific outcomes. Imagine setting sail across the vast ocean without a map or compass. That's akin to pursuing your dreams without a clear plan. Your action plan serves as your navigation system, guiding you through the choppy waters of challenges and steering you toward your destination. Time management then becomes your steadfast ally in this journey. It's about prioritizing tasks based on their significance and urgency, ensuring that every day you're inching closer to your goal. Picture a sculptor meticulously chipping away at a block of marble, each strike of the chisel deliberate and purposeful, gradually revealing the masterpiece within. Similarly, effective time management allows you to carve out your path to success one well-planned day at a time. Prioritization is the skill that enables you to distinguish between what is merely urgent and what is truly important. It's about saying no to myriad distractions that vie for your attention and saying yes to focused efforts that contribute to your overarching goals. Consider the story of an athlete training for the Olympics, their eyes set on gold. Every day, they must prioritize their training, nutrition, and rest, knowing that each decision brings them a step closer to the podium. This relentless focus and prioritization are what separate the champions from the contenders. To embody these strategies, let us draw inspiration from those who have traversed this path before. Take the tale of an entrepreneur who dreamt of revolutionizing an industry. Faced with skepticism and countless setbacks, they remained unwavering in their pursuit. By meticulously planning each step, managing their time like a precious resource, and prioritizing actions that aligned with their vision. They transformed their fledgling idea into a paradigm-shifting enterprise. Their journey underscores the power of resilience, strategic planning, and the relentless pursuit. Embracing a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation is crucial. The landscape of our endeavors is ever-changing, and agility in thought and action enables us to navigate unforeseen challenges. It's about being prepared to pivot, to learn from each setback, and to view each failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. At the heart of our discourse lies the unwavering belief in oneself, a belief so profound that it becomes the bedrock upon which all aspirations are built. This belief, coupled with the courage to set goals that stretch the imagination and challenge the status quo, creates a foundation for achievement that knows no bounds. We've also recognized that the journey towards these lofty aspirations is punctuated with challenges, setbacks, and failures. Yet it is precisely these moments that test our resolve, shape our character, and forge our path to greatness. Persistence and resilience emerge as the beacons that guide us through these trials, reminding us that every setback is a setup for a comeback, that every failure brings with it the seeds of success. Moreover, we've delved into the power of our unique strengths and abilities, our personal arsenal of talents that when fully harnessed enable us to leave an indelible mark on the world. It's through leveraging these innate gifts that we carve out our niche, make our contribution, and achieve what others can't. As we stand at the precipice of action, let this be a moment of commitment, a commitment not just to the dreams and goals we've set, but to the relentless pursuit of them. Let us step forward with a resolve that is unshakable, with a determination that is unwavering, and with a focus that is laser sharp. The path ahead may be fraught with challenges, but it is also replete with opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to excel, and to achieve. So I urge you with every ounce of conviction to commit to your journey with all your heart and soul. Embrace the uncertainty, navigate the challenges, and persist through the setbacks. For it is in the crucible of adversity that greatness is forged. Let this be the mantra that guides you. I possess within me the power, the perseverance, and the passion to transform my dreams into reality. Remember, the only limits that exist are those we impose upon ourselves. Break free from these self-imposed shackles and soar toward your destiny with confidence and courage. The journey ahead is yours to take, and the story yet to be written is yours to write. Let it be a story of triumph, a narrative of resilience, and a testament to the indomitable human spirit. For in the end, it is not just about achieving what others can't, it's about becoming the very best version of yourself in the process. When I was 21, I was broken, living in a small one-room apartment in the middle of a very cold winter. I was working on a construction job during the day and couldn't afford to go out of my apartment in the evenings where at least it was warm. So, I had a lot of time to think. One night, as I sat at my small kitchen table, I had a great flash of awareness that changed my life. I suddenly realized that everything that happened to me for the rest of my life was going to be up to me. No one else was ever going to help me. No one was coming to the rescue. I was thousands of miles from home, where I'd grown up, and had no intentions of going back for a long time. I saw clearly at that moment that if anything in my life were going to change, it would have to begin with me. If I didn't change, nothing else would change. I was responsible. I still remember that moment. It was like a first parachute jump. It was both scary and exhilarating. There I was, standing on the edge of life, and I decided to jump. From that moment onward, I accepted that I was in charge of my life. I knew that if I wanted things to be different, I would have to be different. Everything was up to me. Sadly enough, most people never do this. I've met countless men and women in their 40s and 50s who are still grumbling and complaining about earlier unhappy experiences and still blaming their problems on other people and circumstances. The greatest enemies of success and happiness are negative emotions of all kinds. It is negative emotions that hold you down, tire you out, and take away all your joy in life. One of your most important goals, if you want to be truly happy and successful, is to free yourself from negative emotions. Fortunately, this can be done if you learn how. The negative emotions of fear, self-pity, envy, jealousy, feelings of inferiority, and ultimately, anger, are mostly caused by 4 factors. Once you identify and remove these factors from your thinking, your negative emotions stop automatically. The first of the 4 root causes of negative emotions is justification. You can only be negative as long as you can justify to yourself and others that you are entitled to be angry or upset for some reason. This is why angry people are continually explaining and elaborating on the reasons for their negative feelings. However, if you cannot justify your negativity, you cannot be angry. The second cause of negative emotions is rationalization. When you rationalize, you attempt to give a socially acceptable explanation for an otherwise socially unacceptable act. You rationalize to explain away or to put a favorable light on something that you have done that you feel bad or unhappy about. You excuse your behavior or actions by creating an explanation that sounds good, even though you know that you were an active agent in whatever occurred. You often create complex ways of putting yourself in the right by explaining that your behavior is pretty quite acceptable. All things considered, this rationalizing keeps your negative emotions alive. Rationalization and justification always require that you make someone or something else the source or cause of your problem. You cast yourself in the role of the victim and make the other person or organization into the oppressor or the bad guy. The third cause of negative emotions is an overconcern or hypersensitivity to the way that others treat you. For some people, their entire self-image is determined by the way others speak to them, talk to them, or about them, or even look at them. They have little sense of personal value or self-worth apart from the opinions of others. And if those opinions are negative for any reason, real or imagined, the victim immediately experiences anger, embarrassment, shame, feelings of inferiority, and even depression, self-pity, and despair. This explains why psychologists say that almost everything we do is to earn the respect of others or at least to avoid losing their respect. The fourth cause of negative emotions, and the worst of all, is blaming. When I draw the negative emotions tree in my seminars, I illustrate the trunk of the tree as the propensity to blame other people for our problems. Once you cut down the trunk of the tree, all the fruits of the tree, all the other negative emotions die immediately. Just as when you jerk the plug out of the wall that lights up the Christmas lights in the tree, all the lights go out instantly. The antidote for negative emotions of all kinds is for you to accept complete responsibility for your situation. The very act of accepting responsibility short-circuits and cancels out any negative emotions you may be experiencing. It's only when you free yourself from negative emotions by taking complete responsibility that you can begin to set and achieve goals in every area of your life. It's only when you are free mentally and emotionally that you can begin to channel your energies and enthusiasms in a forward direction. On the other hand, once you accept total responsibility for your life, there are no limits on what you can be, do, and have. From now on, refuse to blame anyone for anything, past, present, or future. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. If you make a mistake, say, "I'm sorry," and get busy rectifying the situation. To keep your mind positive, refuse to criticize, complain about, or condemn other people for anything. Every time you criticize someone else, complain about something you don't like, or condemn someone else for something they have done or not done, you trigger feelings of negativity and anger within yourself, and you are the one who suffers. Your negativity doesn't affect the other person at all. Being angry with someone is allowing him or her to control your emotions and often the entire quality of your life at long distance. This is just plain silly. Remember, positive emotions of happiness, excitement, love, and enthusiasm make you feel more powerful and confident. Once you decide to accept complete responsibility for yourself, your situation, and for everything that happens to you, you can turn confidently toward your work and the affairs of your life. You become the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. In a study done in New York some years ago, researchers found that the top 3% of people in every field had a special attitude that set them apart from average performers in their industries. It was this. They viewed themselves as self-employed throughout their careers, no matter who signed their paychecks. They saw themselves as responsible for their companies, exactly as if they owned the companies personally. You should do the same. If there's anything in your life that you don't like, you are responsible. You are responsible for the consequences of your actions and your behaviors. You're where you are and what you are today because you have decided to be there. In a large sense, you are earning today exactly what you have decided to earn, no more, no less. If you're not happy with your current income, decide to earn more. Set it as a goal, make a plan, and then get busy doing what you need to do to earn what it is you want to earn. Just as the president of a corporation is responsible for the strategy and activities of that corporation, You are also responsible for the personal strategic planning of your own life and career. You are responsible for overall management, strategy setting, goals, making plans, establishing measures, and performing to get results. You are responsible for achieving certain outputs, for the quality and quantity of the work that you produce, and the results you are expected to get. As president, you are responsible for marketing strategy, for self-promotion and advancement, for creating your image and packaging yourself to be able to sell yourself for the very highest price in a competitive market. You are responsible for financial strategy, for deciding how much of your services you want to sell, and how much you want to earn, how rapidly you want to grow your income year by year, how much you want to save and invest, and how much you want to be worth when you retire. You're responsible for your people's strategy and your relationships, both at home and at work. One piece of advice I give my students is to choose your boss with care. Your choice of a boss is going to have a major impact on how much you earn, how fast you get ahead, and how happy you will be at your job. By the same token, your choice of a mate and friends will have as much or more to do with your success and happiness than any other decisions you make. Finally, as president, you are in complete charge of personal research and development, personal training, and learning. It is up to you to determine the talents, skills, abilities, and core competencies you will need to earn the kind of money you want to earn in the months and years ahead. It is then your responsibility to make the investment and take the time to learn and develop these skills. Refuse to whine and complain about things that happened in the past which cannot be changed. Instead, orient yourself toward the future and think of what you want and where you're going. Above all, think about your goals. The very act of thinking about your goals makes you positive and purposeful. Once more, there's a direct relationship between the amount of responsibility you accept and the amount of control you feel. The more you say, "I am responsible," the more of an internal locus of control you develop within yourself, and the more powerful and confident you feel. There's also a direct relationship between responsibility and happiness. The more responsibility you accept, the happier you become. It seems that all three, responsibility, control, and happiness, go together. The more responsibility you accept, the greater amount of control you feel you have, the happier and more confident you become. When you feel positive and in control of your life, you will set bigger and more challenging goals for yourself. You will also have the drive and determination to achieve them. You will feel as though you hold your whole life in your own hands and that you can make it into whatever you decide. The starting point of goal setting is for you to realize that you have virtually unlimited potential to be, have, or do anything you really want in life if you simply want it badly enough and are willing to work long enough and hard enough to achieve it. The second part of goal setting is for you to accept complete responsibility for your life and for everything that happens to you, with no blaming and no excuses. With these two concepts clearly in mind, that you have unlimited potential on the one hand and that you are completely responsible on the other, you are now ready to move to the next step, which is to begin designing your ideal future. Now, here are 3 things you can do immediately to put these ideas into action. First, identify your biggest problem or source of negativity in life today. In what ways are you responsible for this situation? Second, see yourself as the president of your own company. How would you act differently if you owned 100% of the shares of your current company? Third, resolve today to stop blaming anyone else for anything and instead accept complete responsibility in every area of your life. What actions should you be taking? Music. Many years ago, I started off poor, started off broke. Music. Broke. I started off pretty stupid. I've done a good deal of traveling, and over the years, I began to study the subject of success. And I had one simple idea that came upon me in my late teens, and I think it was the most important idea that I've ever had. It was simply this, that if you study successful people and you do what they do, you'll be more successful. And if you study unsuccessful people and you avoid doing what they do, then you will not be a failure. Then one of the things I found is that if you study success, you begin to internalize success principles. And if you practice proven success principles, and if you do what successful men and women have done throughout history, then you will be successful too. It's such a remarkable discovery, but it has been worth a fortune to me. Now here's another discovery. 95% of what you do comes from habit. And if you do something repeatedly over and over again, what do you develop? You develop new habits. So you can learn the habits of highly successful people. You can learn the habits of highly paid people. You can learn the habits of people who get into the top 10% and into the top 20%. And you can learn them with practice because all habits are learnable, all skills are learnable. There is no limit to what you can accomplish if you just simply dedicate yourself to developing the habits of other successful people. So the idea that you can short-circuit this, that you can just jump to the head of the line with no work, it's an idea that people fall for all the time, just poor suckers. And what happens is it never works, it's not possible. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and act as though it were impossible to fail. And this brings us to the most important part. If I can just summarize in 1 minute, it is this. Your true beliefs are only and always expressed in your actions. It is not what you say or what you intend that tells what you believe, but only what you do. Your actions are always the true measure. And the interesting thing that we've learned in behavioral psychology is that if you do not feel self-confident, courageous, consistent, clear, and so on, if you don't feel like it, and most of us start off not feeling like it, if you will pretend as though you have the quality already, the feelings will generate the actions, and the actions will generate the feelings. If you will act, walk, talk, and live by the same principles and do the same things that successful men and women do, even if you doubt yourself in the initial stages, eventually you will come to the point where you actually feel to the bottom of your soul like a successful, positive, confident, cheerful, optimistic, unstoppable human being. And that's the key. Act the part until you feel the part. Do what successful people do and do it over and over again until it becomes ingrained as a habit. And I did 2 things which really had a profound effect on my career. Number 1 is when I heard a new thing, I would immediately try it out. I noticed that many other people heard the same things, but they took no action. They wouldn't take any action at all. Whereas when I heard something new, I would run out and I would try it out quickly. Number 2, the thing that I learned is that nothing works. Even the best ideas don't work, at least they don't work the first time. And sometimes they don't work the first 5 times or the first 10 times. So I made a resolution that if I heard a good idea, I would try it 5 or 10 times before I passed judgment. And for a set of people, think about what they want and how to get it. Most of the time, they think about what they want and how to get it. Clarity is the starting point of all success. It means clarity of thinking. It means thinking clearly, and it extends from thinking clearly to a series of other things. With regard to clarity, it means the ability to determine exactly what it is that you want to be, have, or do in life. And the more I study successful men and women, the more I find that every single one of them, the top 5%, are very clear about where it is they're going and what it is they want to accomplish. And when I look at unsuccessful men and women, or men and women who seem to be unhappy and floundering, I find that almost invariably they have a very, very limited sense of direction, sometimes no sense of direction at all. Now, the comfort zone is, we become comfortable doing what we're doing, and we are uncomfortable not doing that. Remember, we try to move from discomfort toward comfort, but we don't try to move from comfort toward discomfort. Trying something new, setting a new goal, committing ourselves to a whole new course of action or study is a very comforting thing. And what we do is we pull back into our comfort zone. So the comfort zone is the great enemy of success. It keeps us in a homeostatic situation. It keeps us constant with our previous behaviors. It keeps us at a low level of accomplishment. In order to break out of the comfort zone, we've got to set bigger goals. We've got to set big, hairy, audacious goals that really wake us up, that are impossible to accomplish at our current level of accomplishment. Now, I was reading something in philosophy a couple of years ago, and it said there are only certain things that a person can do for themselves. A person can only breathe for themselves. A person can only eat for themselves. A person can only drink for themselves. A person can only learn for themselves. So the one thing that only you can do is to learn. No one else can do it for you. No one else can give it to you. Only you can learn new things through hard work. One of the people on the program, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, who had become successful as a singer, he said, "Isn't that wonderful that you become so successful as a singer?" She said, "Yes, it's wonderful." She said, "But when I'm up on stage in Las Vegas, I'm making $50,000 a week or whatever it happens to be." He says, "Nobody sees the 16 years that I spent traveling around, living in a van, singing in cheap honky-tonks where people throw up on their piano and get drunk on the floor in front. Nobody sees the 16 years of living on the road, living at an average of less than $5,000 a year. What they see is the person up there on the stage. But every single great success was at one time a failure. And they failed and failed and failed and failed and failed over and over again. And all great successes are a story of failure. Outstanding success. Boy, ain't he lucky? Isn't that right? Boy, he was lucky. He sure had the right connections. So consistency is important. And even if you don't see yourself getting the results, be consistent. Keep working. Steady. Steady, steady. Knowing that you're accumulating. You're putting yourself on the side of the angels when you're working consistently. Nature is neutral. Nature doesn't say you'll be successful and you not and you a little bit more. It's blind. Nature is neutral. Nature says if you will do what other successful people do, you get the same results. That's it. Whether you come from a farm or a poor family or you have no education. I thought that you had to have good grades in school in order to be successful. And then later, I thought that you had to have a university education in order to be successful. And then later, I thought that successful people are people who are somehow better than you and they somehow have unique talents. That somehow the gods have descended from Olympus and touched them on the heads. But one of the things that I found is that nobody is better than you or I when you see men or women accomplishing great things. They're not better than you and they're not different from you or they're just doing things in a different way. You look at a person you went to school with who's now doing surgery as a doctor. The person's the same person, except that they've learned how to do surgery. You look at a person who you went to school with who is now an outstanding success in a particular field. All they've done is learned how to be a success in that field. And consistency, there's a law of accumulation in the universe. If I can pass this on, a law of accumulation that says that even though you do 100 things or 1,000 things that you don't see, eventually they accumulate and they gather a force of their own. That every single great accomplishment in life is the result of thousands of minor accomplishments that nobody ever sees. Interesting point. The single greatest source of self-made millionaires in America. You know what industry it is. Can you guess? You wouldn't believe it. Dry cleaning. Dry cleaning shops are the greatest single source. Why? Industry that's contributed more self-made millionaires than any other industry. Dry cleaning shops. Now, the key to this, if you want to become wealthy, if you want to be. I'm going to tell you something that if you want to be wealthy in life, if you wish to become very wealthy, if you wish to become a millionaire, you can do it if you're willing to pay the price. But most people become millionaires by offering a good or service that people use all the time. And they offer it just a little bit better. They do it just a little bit faster. They put a little bit more grace or finesse into what they're doing. They handle it, they wrap it, they are more polite. The restaurant that has people coming back to it may have food that's only 5% different, but it's the way that people handle it that's so different. You can do anything you want in life. All you have to do is find an idea that's 10 to new. And you'll find that if you flood your mind, read magazines, read books, ask questions, ask why people are doing things the way they're doing, look for ideas, keep your mind open and flexible, ask questions. Remember, one new idea is all you need to start a fortune. And within every single person here, you have 4 ideas, an average of 4 ideas per year, driving to and from work, any one of which will make you a fortune, any one of which will make you wealthy. How many times? I can prove it to you. Want me to prove it to you? How many times have you been going about your daily business and you see the need for a product or service, and you said, I wonder why somebody doesn't produce that? And about 2 or 3 years later, then you say, well, it can't be any good because I thought of it. After all, I grabbed some Groucho Marx when he resigned from a club once. He said, I wouldn't stay in a club that would have me for a member. People like me, remember? So we used to get those ideas and we say, well, it can't be any good because I thought of it. And then 2 or 3 years later, a company comes out with that idea or some company and makes $1 million. And you say, I thought of that idea 2 or 3 years ago. Every single person here has had that experience. What you have to do is trust your ideas. Trust your idea. If you decide that you're going to earn a certain amount of money, that you're going to achieve a certain level of wealth, that you're going to achieve a certain life estate, and you program that into your subconscious mind, and you then turn it over to your intuition, you will get the ideas, the insights, the inspirations necessary to achieve your goals. And that's the only difference between very wealthy, successful people and the average person, is that they simply follow their intuition. They're not smarter, they're not different, they're not more educated, they're not more talented. They just follow that inner guide. Why are poor people poor? Because they think poorly. It's really important that you realize that you have everything that you need within you right now to achieve everything you could possibly dream of in life. That success is predictable if you commit yourself to becoming excellent. It does a whole lot of other things within your mind. But if you commit yourself to becoming excellent, it changes everything about you. And only the top 5% or 10% are excellent. Okay, 95% of your success will be determined by how clear you are about what you want. Most people are unclear. They don't really know. If you say to a person, "What do you want?" they'll say, "Well, I want to be rich." Or they say, "Well, I want to be happy." Or they say, "I want a happy home." Or, "I want to travel." But these are not goals. These are just wishes. I call these cigarette smoke goals. That's where you take a puff of a cigarette and you exhale, but it just disappears. Most people are organizing their lives around cigarette smoke goals. They just come through their minds and they just disappear like the sound of distant music. It comes and goes. But successful people are very clear about their goals. Many years ago, I was a karate student. I was also a karate instructor, and I competed in 3 international championships. And one of the things that I learned from my best karate instructors, and I studied under 6 world champions, is they told me that when you fight, always move forward. Even if you're only moving forward half an inch at a time, just always move forward. They said when you're moving forward, 100% of your attention is forward. But if you're moving backward, even a half an inch at a time, half of your attention is always behind you and where you're going. So always move forward. Always have the daring to go forward. Whenever you have a choice of either staying still and playing it safe or moving forward, move forward. Not because you'll necessarily succeed every time, but because it reinforces and cements the habit of moving forward. Most people, when they have a choice of moving forward or staying, playing it safe, play it safe. But I think General Douglas MacArthur said there's no security in life, only opportunity. Life is very perverse in a way because the more we seek security, the less we have it. And the more we seek opportunity, the more we have security. Helen Keller said this beautifully. She said, "Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all." That the tendency, she said in the earlier parts of this statement, she said the tendency to seek security is the low road to failure. That courage is absolutely essential. And one of the things that I used to think is that if you were really courageous, if eventually you got to the point where you weren't afraid. I'm going to tell you something that if you're not a little bit afraid, at least 3 or 4 nights a week, you're not trying hard enough. If you're not falling on your face over and over again, if you're not trembling when you go to sleep with your heart pounding, then what is happening is you're not trying hard enough. You're living too far within your potential already. Successful people live on the outside edge of what they're capable of. And it's always a little bit scary on the outside. Because we all have feelings of uncertainty, we all have fears, we all have doubts that hold us back. But the brave person is simply the person who moves forward and keeps taking the chance. You cannot imagine a successful person without courage. You cannot imagine a successful person without the courage to face and confront their fears and to move forward. In my experience, the fear of failure is the greatest single reason for failure in adult life. The fear of failure, the fear of making a mistake, of losing our money, our time, our effort, is what paralyzes us and holds us back. But the fear of failure is a habit which can be counteracted by the habit of courage. And if we don't overcome that fear of failure, then we'll just be like the 80%, 90% that do not fulfill their potential. See, the wonderful thing is only a few percentage of people fulfill their potential in any generation. And we can join those people simply by deciding to do so and doing what the other people do. As simple as that. We decide to become an engineer. What do you study? You study engineering. You want to become a better cook. What do? You study cooking. Do you try to do it all by yourself? No, you get cookbooks, you take classes, and so on and so forth. If you want to be successful, if you want to fulfill your potential, study the men and women who are fulfilling their potential and just do what they do. Finally, with regard to courage, the greatest expression of courage is to persist in the face of adversity. To persist when things really get rough. To be able to pick yourself up and pick yourself up over and over again. And believe me, if you decide to go for the goal in your life, you're going to get knocked down over and over and over and over again. Every single week, you're going to have heartaches, disappointments, frustrations, setbacks, and obstacles. But without those obstacles, no success is possible. You see, the only way we can be successful is if we develop momentum. And we cannot develop the momentum unless we are struggling with obstacles. And struggle with adversity goes hand in hand with all great success. What most people do is they back away from adversity. But if you want to see if you're a brave person, what they call the 4 o'clock in the morning courage. When things go completely to pieces, when things are the worst, when your very best deal falls apart and your rent is late and you're tired and you're sick and everybody is mad at you, your car doesn't work, then it's the person that picks themselves up and says, nothing is going to stop me. How many times do you think people try to achieve their new goals before they give up? The average is less than 1 attempt. Most people give up before they even make the first try. The reason they give up is because of all the obstacles, difficulties, problems, and roadblocks that immediately appear as soon as they decide to do something they've never done before. The fact is, successful people fail far more often than unsuccessful people. Successful people try more things, fall down, pick themselves up, and try again, over and over again. On the other hand, unsuccessful people try a few things, if they try at all, and very soon quit and go back to what they were doing before. You should expect to fail and fall short many times before you achieve your goals. You should look upon failure and temporary defeat as a part of the price you pay on your road to success. As Henry Ford once said, failure is merely an opportunity to more intelligently begin again. Once you have decided upon your goal, ask yourself, why am I not there already? What is holding you back? Why haven't you achieved the goal up to now? Identify all the obstacles that stand between you and your goal. Write down every single thing that might be blocking you or slowing you down from moving ahead. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. In the area of problems and difficulties, successful people have a particular way of thinking that we call solution orientation. Successful people think about solutions most of the time. Unsuccessful people think about problems and difficulties most of the time. Solution-oriented people are constantly looking for ways to get over, around, and past the obstacles that stand in their way. Problem-oriented people continuously talk about their problems, about who or what caused them, how unhappy or angry they are, and how unfortunate it is that they have occurred. Solution-oriented people, on the other hand, simply ask the question, how can we solve this? And then take action to deal with the problem. Between you and anything you want to accomplish, there will always be problems or obstacles of some kind. This is why success is sometimes defined as the ability to solve problems. Personal leadership is the ability to solve problems. Effectiveness is the ability to solve problems. All men and women who accomplish anything of importance are people who have developed the ability to solve the problems that stand between them and their goals. Fortunately, problem solving is a skill like riding a bicycle or typing with a typewriter, which you can learn. And the more you focus on solutions, the more and better solutions will come to you. The better you get at solving problems, the faster you will be at solving each subsequent problem. And as you get better and faster at solving problems, you will attract even bigger and more expensive problems to solve. Eventually, you will be solving problems that can have significant financial consequences for you and others. This is the way the world works. The fact is that you have the ability to solve any problem or to overcome any obstacle on the path to your goal if you desire the goal intensely enough. You have within you right now all the intelligence and ability you will ever need to overcome any obstacle that could possibly hold you back. One of the most important breakthroughs in thinking in the last few decades was described by Eliyahu M. Goldratt in his book, The Goal. It's the theory of constraints. This theory says that between you and anything you want to accomplish, there is a constraint or limiting factor that determines how fast you get to where you want to go. For example, if you are driving down the freeway and there is traffic construction that is narrowing all the cars into a single lane, this bottleneck or choke point becomes the constraint that determines how fast you get to your destination. The speed at which you pass through this bottleneck will largely determine the speed of your entire journey. In accomplishing any major goal, there is always a constraint or bottleneck you must get through as well. Your job is to identify it accurately and then to focus all your energies on alleviating that key constraint. Your ability to remove this bottleneck or deal with this limiting factor can help you move ahead faster than perhaps any other step you can take. The 80-20th rule applies to the constraints between you and your goals. This rule says that 80% of your constraints will be within yourself. Only 20% of your constraints will be outside of yourself, contained in other people and situations. To put it another way, you personally are usually the major roadblock that is setting the speed at which you achieve any goal you set for yourself. For most people, this is hard to accept. But superior people are more concerned with what is right rather than who is right. Superior people are more concerned with the truth of the situation and what they can do to solve the problem than they are with protecting their egos. Ask yourself, what is it in me that is holding me back? Deep within yourself, identify the key constraints in your personality, temperament, skills, abilities, habits, education, or experience that might be holding you back from achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. Ask the brutal questions. Be completely honest with yourself. The primary obstacles between you and your goals are usually mental. They are psychological and emotional in character. They are within yourself rather than within the situation around you. And it is with these mental obstacles that you must begin if you want to achieve everything that is possible for you. The two major obstacles to achievement are fear and doubt. First of all, there are the fears of failure, poverty, loss, embarrassment, or rejection that hold the average person back from trying in the first place. This is why the average number of times that a person tries with a new goal is less than 1. As soon as he thinks of the goal, these fears overwhelm him and, like a bucket of water on a small fire, extinguish his desire completely. The second mental obstacle, closely aligned with fear, is that of self-doubt. We doubt our own abilities. We compare ourselves unfavorably to others and think that others are somehow better, smarter, and more competent than we are. We think, I'm not good enough, and we feel inadequate and inferior to the challenges of achieving the great goals that we so much want to accomplish. Fortunately, if there is anything good about doubt and fear, it is that they are both learned emotions. Have you ever seen a negative baby born? They come into the world with no doubts or fears at all. And whatever has been learned can be unlearned through practice and repetition. The primary antidotes to doubt and fear are courage and confidence. The higher your level of courage and confidence, the lower will be your levels of fear and doubt, and the less effect these negative emotions will have on your performance and behavior. The way you develop courage and confidence is with knowledge and skill. Most fear and doubt arise out of ignorance and feelings of inadequacy of some kind. The more you learn the things you need to know to achieve your goals, the less fear you will feel on the one hand and the more courage and confidence you will feel on the other. Think about learning to drive for the first time. You were probably extremely tense and nervous and made a lot of mistakes. But over time, as you mastered the knowledge and skills of driving, you became better and better, and your confidence increased. Today, you can quite comfortably get into your car and drive across the country with no fear or worry at all. You are so confident at driving that you can do it well without even thinking about it. The same principles apply to any skills you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. Dr. Martin Seligman of the University of Pennsylvania spent more than 25 years studying the phenomenon of what he called learned helplessness. What Seligman concluded after interviewing and studying many thousands of people was that more than 80% of the population suffers from learned helplessness to some degree, and occasionally to a very high degree indeed. A person suffering from learned helplessness feels that he or she is incapable of achieving his or her goals or improving his or her life. The most common manifestation of learned helplessness is contained in the words, I can't. Whenever the victim of learned helplessness is offered an opportunity, possibility, or new goal, he immediately responds by saying, I can't. He then goes on to give all the reasons why a particular goal or objective is not possible for him. I can't move ahead in my career. I can't get a better job. I can't take time off to study. I can't save money. I can't lose weight. I can't start my own business. I can't start a second income business. I can't change or improve my relationship. I can't get my time under control. Whatever it is, he always has a self-limiting reason that immediately slams on the brakes of his potential. It short-circuits any attempt or desire to set a new goal or to change things in any way. Another famous observation of Henry Ford was, if you believe you can do a thing or you believe you cannot, in either case, you are probably right. Learned helplessness is usually caused by destructive criticism of childhood, negative experiences growing up, and failure experiences as an adult. The way you get over this natural tendency to sell yourself short is by setting small goals, making plans, and working on them each day. In this way, you gradually develop greater courage and confidence, like building up a muscle. As you become more confident in yourself and your abilities, you can set even larger goals. Over time, your doubts and fears will weaken, and your courage and confidence will grow and become the dominant force in your thinking. Eventually, with a record of successes behind you, it won't be long before you become unstoppable. The second mental obstacle that you need to overcome is the comfort zone. Many people become complacent with their current situations. They become so comfortable in a particular job, relationship, salary, or level of responsibility that they become reluctant to make any changes at all, even for the better. The comfort zone is a major obstacle to ambition, desire, determination, and accomplishment. People who get stuck in a comfort zone, combined with learned helplessness, are almost impossible to help in any way. Don't let this happen to you. The way you get out of your comfort zone and break loose from learned helplessness is by setting big, challenging goals. You then break these goals down into specific tasks, set deadlines, and work on them every day. Soon, the sluggishness and lethargy of learned helplessness and the comfort zone break up, and you begin moving faster and faster toward accomplishing more and more of what is possible for you. Once you have made a list of all the obstacles standing in the way of achieving your major goals, organize the obstacles by priority. What is the largest single obstacle? If you could wave a magic wand and remove one major obstacle from your path, which one obstacle, if removed, would help you the most in moving ahead more rapidly? Management consultant Eliyahu M. Goldratt has an interesting set of observations regarding problem solving and the removal of obstacles. He says that before you attempt to solve a problem, define it several different ways. Beware of any problem for which there is only one definition or only one solution. When you ask the question regarding your goal, why am I not there already? What answer comes to mind? What is holding you back? What is standing in your way? It is at this point that you have to drill down to determine the correct obstacle before you begin taking steps to remove it. You do this by asking the question, what else could be the problem? After each definition of the problem, start with the goal of increased sales or profitability. Each definition leads to a different set of solutions. They require that you think in different ways. In your personal life, it's the same. The accuracy with which you identify the obstacles or bottlenecks that are holding you back will determine the appropriateness of the various steps you can take to remove or alleviate those obstacles. Start off by stating the problem, then ask, what else could be the problem? Rewrite that obstacle as a positive goal. For example, my goal is to continually upgrade my skills and abilities so that I'm in the top 10% of money earners in my field. Then, make a list of all the things you can do to upgrade your knowledge and skills, improve your time management, increase your efficiency and effectiveness, and make more sales for your company. Set deadlines and measures next to each step in your strategy to achieve excellence in your field. Select one key task and take action on it immediately. Hold your own feet to the fire. Become your own taskmaster. This exercise of identifying what is holding you back and then setting a clear written goal to remove that obstacle puts you back in control of your own life. By following through on your resolution, you virtually guarantee your ultimate success and the achievement of almost any goal you can set for yourself. If you have any questions or concerns about the accuracy of your problem's definition, opportunities and answers will come to you from various sources. You will begin to attract into your life all kinds of resources that will help you to overcome the obstacle or difficulty either within yourself or within the situation around you, and move toward your goal. Remember the old saying, for every problem, there is a solution. If there is a solution, go and find it. If there isn't, never mind. There is a solution of some kind somewhere. Your job is to be absolutely clear about what sets the speed at which you achieve your goal and then to focus your time and attention accordingly.